Aw, look how cute this little mid-century modern desk is. Perfect for doing homework, so cute. It's missing some handles, but I wonder what it's worth. Oh wow, similar ones go for up to the thousands. So cute just the way it is. Wrong. We're gonna cut this sucker up. When I saw this desk on Facebook Marketplace, I thought it would be a great project piece to turn into a side table for my bedroom. It's gonna be so cute. We got to work on ripping this piece apart so we can make it even cuter. One of the sides is gonna look kind of ugly, but it's for me, so I don't really care that much. Plus, it's gonna be pushed up next to my bed and I won't see it anyways. We pried this piece off, but ended up separating some of the veneer underneath, so we just stuck some wood glue in there and clamped a piece of wood on it and crossed our fingers and hoped for the best. Then I got to work on the dresser, cleaning it first as always. Then I sanded the finish off with 120 grit sandpaper and followed that with 220 grit to smooth it all out. Sanding off failing finish to reveal walnut wood grain like this never gets old. Okay, now time to sand the ugly side of this piece. It does end up getting a little less ugly, so you kind of just have to trust the process. See, not that bad. Now time for the gel stain. I just used a walnut gel stain by Minwax. With this stain, I just kind of lather it on everywhere and then wipe off any excess in the direction of the wood grain, and it never does me wrong. You honestly don't even have to use a stain when working with walnut wood, so depending on how I'm feeling, I'll just sometimes go straight in with the poly to seal the wood. It just looks that good on its own. But in this instance, I decided to stain it to achieve a darker, richer walnut color. After I gave that a day to dry, it was ready to top coat. Something I like to do before I apply top coat and even between coats is I take a brown paper bag and go over the entire piece to smooth it out. Paper bag acts like a super high grit sandpaper and just helps to ensure your final result will be nice and smooth. I did about 2 to 3 coats of this wipe on poly to help protect the piece. Now time to address these missing handles. There were 2 handles missing when we first picked it up. Fortunately, I'm super lucky to have a husband that works in a machine shop who can just make me any parts I need. So here are the handles he came up with. Dare I say they look even better than the original handles? Alright, moment of truth. They're perfect. Last thing to do is make a new top for this thing since, we threw the old one in the garbage. So we cut some veneered plywood to size and I ironed on some new veneer edge banding. I stained it with the same gel stain and then ended up doing another darker stain over the top because it's a different wood, so it's obviously not going to look like the rest. After giving that time to dry, I applied some wipe on poly to the top. And then it was done. Let me know what you think. Should I have just left it as a desk or do you like it how it is now? Bye!